Once upon a time, in a small village, there lived a young man named Haru. Haru was like many others, curious about life, eager to understand the world and constantly searching for something more. He worked hard every day, but no matter how much he achieved or how busy he kept himself, there was a restlessness inside him, a feeling that something was missing, something important. This feeling began to grow stronger with each passing day. Haru felt like he was a prisoner of his own thoughts, constantly worrying about the future or regretting the past. He would lie awake at night, his mind racing, unable to find peace. It was as if his mind had taken control of him, leading him into a maze of endless worries and anxieties. One day, while sitting under a large tree near the edge of the village, Haru saw an old monk passing by. The monk had a calm and peaceful presence, and Haru felt an instant pull towards him. He had heard of this monk from the villagers. People said he had spent many years in the mountains studying Zen teachings and that he had a deep understanding of the mind. Haru decided to approach the monk. Bowing respectfully, he said, "Master, I feel trapped by my own mind. No matter what I do, I can't seem to find peace. My thoughts are like wild horses running in all directions. I want to learn how to control my mind. Can you help me?" The old monk smiled gently and indicated Haru to sit beside him. "My son," the monk began, "the mind is indeed a powerful thing. It can be your greatest ally or your worst enemy. But the key is not to control it through force. Instead, you must learn to master it with understanding, patience, and practice." Haru listened intently as the monk continued. "When you try to force control over your mind, it's like trying to catch a shadow. The more you chase it, the further it seems to move away. But when you sit still and allow the light to shine, the shadow naturally disappears." The same is true with the mind. The monk could see the confusion on Haru's face. He knew that Haru needed more than just words. He needed an experience to truly understand. So, the monk invited Haru to join him on a journey to the mountains, where he would teach him the way to master his mind. Eager to find peace, Haru agreed, and the two set off the next morning. As they walked through the forest, the monk spoke of the mind's nature. "Your mind, Haru, is like this forest. It is full of life, thoughts, emotions, desires, all constantly growing and changing. But within this forest lies a path, a way to walk through without getting lost." After several hours, they reached a small secluded temple. The monk led Haru inside and pointed to a small cushion on the floor. "Sit here," he instructed. "This will be your place of practice. Every day you will come here and sit in silence. You will watch your breath and observe your thoughts, but you will not engage with them. You will simply let them pass, like clouds drifting across the sky." At first, Haru found it difficult. His thoughts were loud and persistent. His mind kept wandering to the past, to future worries, to the endless list of things he thought he needed to do. But the monk encouraged him to continue, reminding him that this was a process and mastery takes time. Days turned into weeks, and slowly, Haru began to notice a change. His thoughts were still there, but they no longer had the same power over him. He realized that his thoughts were just that, thoughts. They were not reality, and they did not have to control him unless he allowed them to. He could choose which thoughts to follow and which to let go. One evening, after several months of practice, the monk invited Haru to join him by a small stream near the temple. As they sat by the water, the monk asked, "Haru, what do you see when you look at this stream?" Haru looked at the flowing water and said, "I see the water moving smoothly, flowing over rocks, sometimes fast, sometimes slow, but always moving forward." The monk nodded. The mind is like this stream. Thoughts and emotions are like the water. They will always flow, always move, but you do not have to be swept away by them. You can stand on the bank, watching them pass by without being pulled in. This is what it means to master your mind, to observe without getting attached, to understand without being controlled. As they sat in silence, Haru felt a deep sense of peace. He realized that for the first time in his life, his mind was not pulling him in different directions. He was simply present, fully aware of the moment, yet completely at ease. The restlessness that had plagued him for so long was gone. The next day, the monk gave Haru a final lesson. He took him to a large tree, much like the one Haru had been sitting under when they first met. "Haru, this tree is strong and steady, rooted deeply in the earth. No matter how strong the wind blows, it does not fall. Your mind can be like this tree, rooted in awareness, steady in the face of life's challenges." "But remember," the monk added, "this strength does not come from fighting the wind. It comes from being grounded in the present, from understanding that the wind, like your thoughts, will pass. When you master your mind, you do not need to control everything around you. You simply need to remain centered and let life flow as it will." Haru understood now. Mastering the mind was not about force or control. It was about awareness, acceptance, and letting go. It was about living in the present moment without being dragged into the past or pushed into the future by endless thoughts and worries. With gratitude in his heart, Haru thanked the monk and returned to his village. Life was the same as before: work, responsibilities, and daily routines. But something within him had changed. He no longer felt like a prisoner of his mind. He had found the key to inner peace, and with it, a deeper understanding of life. Whenever his mind started to race or anxiety crept in, Haru would take a deep breath and remember the lessons from the mountains. He would watch his thoughts, let them pass, and return to the present moment. In doing so, he found that the peace he had been searching for was always within him, waiting to be discovered. And so, Haru lived his life with a calm mind and a peaceful heart, sharing the wisdom he had learned with others who were also searching for peace. He taught them what the monk had taught him, that true mastery of the mind comes not from controlling it, but from understanding it, accepting it, and learning to let go. This story of Haru reminds us all that while our minds can sometimes feel like our greatest challenge, they can also be our greatest source of strength and peace. By practicing mindfulness, by being present, and by learning to observe our thoughts without becoming attached to them, we can all find the peace and clarity that we seek. Master your mind. Don't let it control you. This is the essence of Zen wisdom, a timeless teaching that continues to guide us on our journey to inner peace.